Take a shot every time I say Chypre in this video. Ooh, the sun is shining today. Hi guys, it's ALCHEMY. How's everyone doing? Good, 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 I hope. Chypres are following me around the universe, so I thought I'd do a video about them. Yeah, why not? So, introduction. Chypre is a style of fragrance that I thought that I didn't like. And I realized that I probably didn't like them because I was smelling super classical, harsh, green, dry, mossy Chypres, and I don't really like oak moss that much. That's all changed now. When you're on this perfume journey, it meanders. It's not a straight line. Things happen. You go off of things. Like food, you find new things. You find things that you didn't think you'd like. And I have recently discovered that a lot of things that I'm kind of falling in love with and discovering that I didn't really know much about are all Chypres. So apparently I do like them. There is always a gateway into finding things, you know. Say for instance, you hate jasmine. There's gonna be a jasmine fragrance out there that will be your gateway into liking jasmine. Sometimes you might just never like jasmine, that's fine. It's never one, it meanders. It's not one thing for everyone. It's the same with food. I hated olives for the longest time, but then I tried garlic stuffed olives because I love garlic, and now I like olives. I can eat them without garlic. That's what happened with Chypres in a roundabout sort of way. So I put together a list of 13 Chypres that I think are absolutely amazing. I wanted to do 10, but I couldn't take any of these off the list. Some of them I own, some of them I don't. One of them I am following around like a stalker, and I will get it in my collection soon. I just need to be able to afford it. Anyway, let's get on with the list. But also before that, quickly, there's always something else. A brief description of Chypre. If you don't know what it is a style of fragrance that's been around for centuries. At least a century. More than a century. And usually it consists of oak moss in the base, labdanum in the heart, and bergamot on the top. However, there are many styles of Chypre. It is one of the most complex styles of perfume out there. And we now have floral Chypres, we have fruity Chypres, we have all different kinds. But you, person watching this, if you don't know what it is, there are certain things, there are certain fragrances you can smell that will help you identify the Chypre DNA, because it's definitely something very distinct. And for the longest time, I didn't know what it was. I couldn't put my finger on or identify Chypre when it's not an in-your-face, loud, shouting, obvious Chypre. So I hope that you know what it is. Once you get it, you get it. So yeah, these are mine. Let's just start the list because I don't want to ramble on too much. Okay, let's begin. So the first one on the list, I want to start with this one because I feel like if you don't know what Chypre is and you smell this, this would be like the starting block. This would be the building block to help you identify what Chypre feels like in a fragrance, because some of them have so much else going on that it's just like, wow. Anyway, it's called Chypre Charnel and it's by Molinard. This is just up and down the line a Chypre. It's just the classic structure of a Chypre. There's nothing else dancing around it. There's no added extra craziness. If you smell this, this is the basis of what Chypre smells like. And that's why I like it, because it delivers that feeling immediately. It's kind of the cheapy one of the bunch too, so it's a good one to start with. And the bottle is oh so pretty, right? There's a lot of sunlight today, which is good for some reasons and bad for others, but I really, really like this one. It delivers. This one I found from a sample. It was something that I had a random bunch of samples from somewhere, I can't remember where, and this one immediately just stuck out and I said, ah, love. It's got some peach, it's got a little bit of white floral going on. I'm actually just going to spray it. I'm not going to spray it on me because I'm actually wearing a Chypre today and it's going to be in this video as well. I really like it. Chypres are ultimately dry. It's the moss that makes them have this sometimes dry, scratchy green feeling. And this one, yeah, there's not much more to say about it other than it's an up and down Chypre. It delivers exactly what you want. I really like it, and yeah, the bottle's cute. It's got the dryness, it's got the tiny bit of resin because Chypres normally have labdanum in them, and it's citrusy too. It's really elegant. It feels kind of Chanel-y, and I don't know why. I've got trusty Fragrantica open here as well because Chypres are very complex things to talk about. This has oak moss, patchouli, vetiver, benzoin, vanilla, musk in the base, rose, iris, jasmine, white flowers, and then it has multiple citruses on the top, orange, lemon, and bergamot with a little bit of peach. Really, for me, it's all about the mosses. It's all about the mossy chypreness. So anyway, that's the first one. Chypre Charnel by Molinard, one of the oldest French perfume houses. They're in Grasse, they're kind of everywhere. So yeah, it's a really great one. The next one is Eau Capitale, and this is by Diptyque. This is my second favorite Diptyque perfume. The first one is not a Chypre, but this one's a real modern one. And I've talked about this one on my channel a little bit, I think. I've reviewed it too. This one is peppery. It's a Chypre with rose, and it's a modern Chypre because what Diptyque did was they didn't use oak moss, they used patchouli instead. It gets compared to Frederic Malle's Portrait of a Lady quite a lot. I can see why. It's like a simplified younger sister of Portrait of a Lady with a Chypre feeling in the middle and a lot of rose. Well, Portrait of a Lady is a rose too. So yeah, this is modern Chypre. This is the sort of Chypre that I really like. The super classic ones I'm still getting to grips with. I talked about one briefly in my previous video, the Miss Dior one, which is not going to be in this video because there are other ones that are better. So yeah, rose, patchouli, Chypre feeling, and then it's also really peppery as well. It's a really nice alternative to Portrait of a Lady. It's less incensey and it's more Chypre-y. Yeah? So Eau Capitale by Diptyque. The next one I didn't even realize was a Chypre when I first tried it. I'm going to say Chypre, by the way, not sheep, because it's a little bit less effort and I've got a lot to talk about. Don't judge. This one, yeah, I didn't realize that it was a Chypre until a little way into discovering it and then owning it and wearing it and going, oh gosh, it actually is. And this one is a very prized one of mine. It was a gift from a lovely friend of mine, Abdullah, who I've been speaking to a lot recently. Hope you're well. And it is Ylang 49. This one is by Labo. This is, oh God. Doesn't smell like Ylang, by the way. This is a Chypre that's more focused on patchouli than moss, and patchouli does work as Chypre. It does work in Chypres. It is an alternative that perfumers can use because, you know, oak moss got banned many years ago, or not banned, but you can only use it in certain amounts. I think something happened with oak moss and they were saying it's gonna be the death of the Chypre. Ylang 49 is absolutely incredible perfume. I love this with all of my little heart. Oh, it says it does have oak moss in it. I wouldn't say that I feel it in here. It definitely feels more patchouli than oak moss, but they say oak moss. Gardenia, benzoin, sandalwood, vetiver, and ylang, which I don't smell either, but it's not about that. It's the way this perfume is constructed. It's just a perfectly done, beautiful patchouli with no ylang, and I don't really feel any moss, but I gushed about this perfume a lot on my channel before I had it. My review I gushed as well, and this is, I've got 2 of the body creams as well because that's how much I love this one. It's perfect. It's my favorite Le Labo fragrance. They can be really hit and miss, I think, but this one just feels super elegant with just enough edge. Just enough edge, and definitely Chypre Accord mingled in there. Focused on patchouli though. Oh, absolutely stunning. Shame it's quite expensive, but this was a gift. So as always, Abdullah, I am eternally grateful to you for getting me this for, I'll say our birthday, because we have the exact same birthday. All right, so yeah, Ylang 49 by Le Labo. The next one is Nightingale by Zoologist. Oh, lordy lord. You guys know how much I love Zoologist. When I first tried this perfume, it wasn't my favorite actually. I don't know, I felt like it was too vintagey. Upon falling in love with it, it's now in my top 3 Zoologists ever. Let me just give you a closer look at this little beauty with her little kimono. Oh, she's so cute. And this liquid is like, whoa. It's bright pink, even though it kind of looks orange on camera. Nightingale stole my heart, and this is a super ultra powdery Chypre. The Chypre feeling, the mossiness, the dryness comes out way down the line, and this one's quite a long wearer. It's got roses in there, there is plum blossom in here. I think there might be a tiny touch of oud as well, if I can remember rightly. Sometimes I like to stop dissecting perfumes that I love and just enjoy them, but my job as a YouTuber is to try and dissect them. So it feels like a powder puff. It's very, very powerful. Don't let powdery fool you. Powdery perfumes can also be incredibly strong, and this is an example of that. It's just insanely gorgeous. I can't deal with this perfume. I love it so much. I'm so scared something's gonna happen to it, like it's gonna go or it's gonna change or something. I think I should get a backup of this one. But yeah, it's made by a Japanese perfumer, Tomu Inaba, and he's very, very talented man. He makes my favorite perfume by Zoologist, which is Moth. But this is in your face, vintage, soft, fluffy powder with a lot of bite going on. The florals are incredible here, but once it gets to its drying stage, it dries out. The powder goes and you're left with something that's much darker actually, and a little bit more tricky to take, but it's so good and it's so worth it for that amazing powdery blast. It's super elegant and I can't sing its praises enough. It's absolutely beautiful. So Nightingale by Zoologist. Okay, are we ready for a little bit of story time? If you're not ready for story time, you can skip to the next one on the little thingy-mabobs at the bottom. I forget what they're called, but you can just skip if you don't care. This one has a story because, oh my God, this perfume is haunting me. Okay, so story. I went to watch The Lion King at the theatre somewhere towards the end of last year, and I did the whole lounge experience. So it's where you go into a separate room and you have champagne and your own table and you get ushered to your seat personally. You get snacks, you get a program, all that stuff. But you also have a server, someone that's dedicated to you, that brings you your drinks when you call them, whatever you want, they're there for you, right? This girl that served us our food and all of those little things, every time she came over to our table, I kept saying to my partner at the time, not partner anymore, oh my God, this girl's perfume is intoxicating me. I have to find out what it is. I really, really want to know, but I didn't want to, like, you know, be that person that does that. But sometimes you just can't, you just have to ask, right? You have to ask. Anyway, went to the interval, came back, the whole lounge smelled of this girl. I was like, it's that perfume is everywhere, I can smell it. I asked her what it was. She said, oh, I'll find out for you, 1 second. You know, one of those. Let me just try and find out for you. Hold on, I'm not sure. Do you know what it is? Anyway, she told me it was called Symphony by Louis Vuitton. So I said, okay, cool, thanks. Like, I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's one of those damn £400 expensive ones. I spent an entire lunch break the very next day traveling from Covent Garden all the way to Selfridges on my lunch just so I could go and smell this Symphony perfume. When I got there, I said, that's not it. That's definitely not the perfume she was wearing, because it's ingrained in my brain, right? Anyway, luckily I smelled the other ones in that line. There's not many, and I found it. It was called Rhapsody. Can't deal with this perfume. It's haunting me. I've been thinking about it ever since. It's been months. And I have it on a card here because I went to Louis Vuitton and smelled it again yesterday. It's the 4th or 5th time that I've been to there to smell this perfume. And I'm now selling things from my collection just so I can get my hands on it. Guys, it is £400, and I know that's disgusting. I think mainly it's because of the lid. But anyway, this perfume is a Chypre, and it is the most hauntingly beautiful thing I've smelled in a very long time. It's powdery, it smells a little bit purple. The sillage on it, I mean, the entire room smelled of her. The whole room smelled of this perfume. So the quality is definitely there. It's got oak moss in it. Oh my goodness. I can't with this perfume. I can't. I have to have it. It's stalking me in my brain. It's coming into my dreams. So yeah, it's called Rhapsody. The note list is jasmine, patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, lily of the valley, rose, and mate tea. Ignore all of that because none of it really makes any sense. It's not super oak mossy. It definitely feels chypre, but it's more floral than anything else. But it's kind of in the world of Nightingale with the whole powdery chypre type thing happening. But it's got this bouncy kind of, it's ultra feminine, and I don't care about that. I still want it because it's that beautiful. When I went to smell it for the first time, when I found it in Louis Vuitton in Selfridges, I had the card in my hand and I stopped at the traffic lights to cross the road, of course, because that's what you do. You don't just run out in the road. And the people next to me said, oh gosh, I can smell something really beautiful and powdery. It was wafting off of the card, and even they noticed it. Anyway, really tricky one to describe. Just know that there's a magic with this one, and I didn't expect that from Louis Vuitton because I have tried other perfumes by the brand, and just been really meh about them. This Rhapsody is a killer. It is at the tippity top of my want list, and I have to sell things from my collection in order to get it, and I'm willing to do that. So yeah, you can just go away for now. Shall we darken things up a little bit, seeing as though it's so bright in here? The next one is Memoir Woman, and this one is by Amouage. This one is a tricky little beast. Yeah, this one is kind of genre bending. There's another fragrance on this list that's kind of genre bending, but ultimately it lies in Chypre. So this one is a really dark one. As you can tell, it's a black bottle. It's Memoir. It is ultimately mossy, mainly. It's very dry. It has that super dry, mossy Chypre quality. But this one also has incense in abundance. It's a really, really interesting perfume. It's a kind of intrigue, compliment kind of getter when you wear it. It's a little bit like, oh, you smell very interesting. And I've told this story before, and it's a very short one. I wore this to a concert, and I hugged my friend once when I met her. She said she could smell it when she got home after the concert. A bit must have rubbed off of me onto her. So this one's a little bit unforgiving. It is fantastic though. And it took me ages as well to realize that it's a Chypre. Didn't know. Apparently I like them. So there's a lot going on. I'm going to read you the note list because it's got all this stuff happening. It's got leather as well in here. There's labdanum, there's incense, there's smoke, there's spices, clove, pepper, black pepper and pink pepper, jasmine, musk, cardamom. So it's got, the green elements of it are really interesting. It's almost kind of stepping into like a fennelly aniseed type thing in the opening. But it's smoky as well. It's one of the most unusual Chypres that I've smelled, and I really, really treasure my bottle. I only really wear it in winter because it's kind of crazy. But definitely try this one out if you love Chypre already, but are looking for a twist on one. Very, very cool. Memoir Woman by Amouage. The next one is one that I'm wearing today, so I don't have it. I had a kind of decant of it, and I've used the last bit of it today. I'm trying to finish a few things up, but it's a really, really beautiful Chypre that I love, and it's called Ella, and it's by a brand called Arquiste. Arquiste are a really great brand from France that make, I think, great perfumes. There are a few duds in there, but you know, you can't be great 100% all of the time. Ella is a really nice, sweet Chypre, this one. The guy that made it in honor of his mother. His mum and dad met in a nightclub in the 70s, I think, in Acapulco, something like that. He made two together. He made a fougère for his dad and a Chypre for his mum. This one's lovely. It's a soft Chypre accord in here, or soft Chypre structure, but there's honey. There's quite a lot of honey in here. There is a touch smokiness. It has a cigarette smoke accord because they met in a nightclub. But ultimately, it's really nice, elegant. It's Chypre dipped in a little bit of light honey, and yeah, it's really nice. I've been wearing it for quite a few hours now actually, and I can really feel the mossy dryness coming out. But this one's super elegant, and I'm sad to say goodbye to my decant. I would actually consider a bottle of it. It's a nice foray into Chypre because it's not too scary, and we all know they can be a bit scary. Anyway, that's Ella, or Aya, by Arquiste. The next one I do not own a bottle of, but I do have a 10ml of it, and this one is one that I do want to get a bottle of in my collection. It is great. It is called Plunge, and it's by Strangers Parfumerie. If you don't know who they are, there's a Thai perfumer called Prince. He's got multiple different lines. This is his kind of ready to wear line, but there is a Chypre hidden in there. So this is Plunge. I really want a bottle of it. So this is a kind of semi-dark Chypre, but it has a big fruity accent, and it has dark fruit. So let me give you the notes. Orris, bergamot, carnation, lilac, marjoram, jasmine, plum. Plum is the thing that the Chypre is centered around in here. And I always say that plum in perfumery is a bit tricky because it doesn't smell like what the fruit tastes like. It's more of an idea or a color feeling for me in a perfume. But this is, oh, really good. Peach, aldehydes, patchouli, damask rose, coriander, lilac as well. So this is an ultra modern one. It doesn't feel mossy. This is another Chypre that's done with the substitution of patchouli, and it's super cool. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I think the plum is the perfect addition to a Chypre, and I think that's genius on Prince's part. I haven't smelled one like this. Super strong Chypre DNA with plummy goodness and darkness, and it almost verges into smoky. So huge fan of this. Really want it in my collection at some point because I have this much left. Need and want. The next one is one that has gone onto my wish list. I mean, the first time I tried it, I immediately loved it. Tried it many times since, and every time I try it, the obsession grows. Not as much as Rhapsody, however, but this is an absolutely stunning perfume. I have a little bit here. It is called Chypre Palatin, and it's by a brand called MDCI. Oh, this is another one on the list that is a genre bending Chypre. It does lean into amber or resinous territory as well. And it's made by Bertrand de Chauffour, who usually isn't one of my favorite perfumers, but this is exquisite. So good. The Chypre structure here is gentle again. You can feel it, but it's not a loud brash one. There is enough resinous tones happening to pull it down a little bit. This is gonna sound weird, but for me, if you take Yves Saint Laurent's Opium, soften her down, tame her down to where she's a little bit more friendly, and then inject the Chypre structure into it, that's what you have with Chypre Palatin. Super elegant, expertly crafted Chypre here with, I don't want to say the O word, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it anymore, ambery, resinous tones. It's absolutely divine, this. It's one of my favorite ones on this list for sure. It's so beautiful, for God's sake. Why do these perfumes make me fall in love so much? It's stressful. So this has a whole bunch of notes. I mean, I won't list all of them, but the reason it feels ambery and resinous as well as Chypre is because it has Tolu Balsam, benzoin, and styrax as well, which are pretty much the same thing, I think. It has vanilla too, which you don't usually find in Chypre. But then it has the oak moss thing. It has immortelle here. You have plum, rose, iris, jasmine, gardenia, hyacinth, aldehydes. Like this is all over the place, but man, it comes together absolutely perfectly. It's like soft, fruity, gentle Chypre with resinous tones happening. And I can't get enough of it. I don't think it suits me, or I don't think I can carry it off, but hell, I want it in my collection, I don't care. Anyway, let's move on. That one is Chypre Palatin by MDCI, which are a very elegant brand. I really appreciate them. I really like them. Few duds in there though, as always. Blue satin blue, looking at you. We don't need another Aventus, thanks very much. Okay, moving on. Okay, two left. The next one is another quite expensive one, so I do apologize, but everyone's got different budgets in this life. I've discovered this one when it first came out. It is called Number 12, and it's by a brand called Puredistance. Their perfumes are not cheap, okay? They really are not cheap, but you have to consider that some of them are 48% strength. Some of them are 35% strength. They really do push their materials to the boundaries. You know, the white one has mice or sandalwood in it. Anyway, Puredistance number 12 is the blue one. It's the last one in the collection that's come out because it's a collection of 12. And it's a Chypre. I do not own this one, mainly due to the price. But I've got a sample, so I'm going to spray it. Really, really nice. This is quite an uplifting Chypre, and this has got a secret hiding within it as well. This is closer to the Molinard Chypre, I would say. It's kind of up and down the line. When you first smell it, it's like whack. Okay, it's that classic structure. Not too fusty though, not too dusty, not too dry. This is somewhere in the middle of being really, really classic and modern at the same time. However, the more that I've worn this, I've realized that it actually shares some similarities with Uber by Amouage, which I own, which was really surprising, you know. Really, the sun is really bright. I do apologize, guys, if I'm overexposed, but hey, my eyes look amazing in this video. Sometimes you've got to blow your own trumpet. No one else is going to do it for you, okay? But yeah, really, really great one. Really great longevity. Let me quickly get the notes up. I can feel like a zingy citrus in here, which is quite typical of a Chypre anyway. But there are, again, I think it's got like Ylang in here, which is pulling me in this kind of Uber direction, which is sitting right here. I don't know if you can see it. No, because the sun's shining right on my perfumes. I need to wrap this video up and close my curtains and get out of here. But yeah, really gorgeous one. Oh, so nice, this one. Really is. It's powdery too. So this one is Orris Heliotrope, Geranium, Jasmine, Rose. No, oh, there is Ylang Ylang in the top notes. Coriander, Cardamom, Bergamot, which is a big part of Chypres. Sorry, my microphone almost fell down. Sandalwood, Patchouli, Ambroxan, Oak Moss, Ambrette, Vetiver, Vanilla, Tonka Bean. I mean, this one you just got to smell, really. It's a really tough one, but it delivers Chypre bang in your face with some kind of Ylang Ylanginess. Really like it. Okay, 2 left. The next one is the crazy beast of the collection, and this one, you either love it, you either hate it, you either don't get it, or you're all for it. I read so many mixed reviews about this, and I used to work with this perfume every day. The fans of this perfume are die hard. So this one is called MAAI, and it's by a brand called Bogue, or Bogue. This one's the monster. This one is the craziest one. It's the most complex one. This is Chypre with animalic beasts lurking around every corner. It's really, really a dry one, but it's got tons of flowers as well. It's got roses in here. There's tuberose in this one. Lots of animalic going on. It's very dark brown feeling, and it's definitely not a traditional Chypre by any means. But man, it's good. I feel like it's too much for a lot of people. The note list is just crazy extensive. And Antonio Gardoni, who's the perfumer and owner of the brand, is not a shy, retiring perfumer. It's not his style. He just goes hell for leather when he makes perfumes. And this one actually got a 5-star from Luca Turin. I know that he's not the be-all and end-all of perfume reviewers, but if he gives a 5-star, he probably sees something in it. He's, you know, he knows what he's talking about. So, yeah, dry, lots of rose, lots of tuberose, leatheriness, animalness, dry, mossiness, spices as well. And also, on certain days, I can really, really smell aldehyde as well. Not today. Today is not an aldehyde day for MAAI. It smells different all the time. This is definitely not a safe blind buy. Be careful. Definitely try it first. But this is almost outside of the realm of Chypre for me. So let's talk about the last one and wrap this video up. The last one is the beauty that is Signature by Ruth Mastenbroek. Now you might wonder and say, why is the bottle full? How can it be your favorite? This is my 3rd bottle, okay, of this perfume, and also I have another 2 waiting to use. This is another one that I did not realize was a Chypre until lots of wearings of it. Oh man, this, I love you so much. Thanks for coming. This one is essentially fruity Chypre. It's very, 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 very mossy, very, very dry, but there's a juicy pineapple note in here. The longevity of this perfume is crazy. Oh my gosh, it just keeps going and going and going. I'm talking 14, 15, 16 hours. And it's so elegant. Elegant with an edge. I cannot get enough of this perfume, which is why it's my third bottle, or however many, I can't even remember. I don't ever want this to be out of my collection. This is another one that kind of haunted me for a while. I smelled it in a department store, and it was a day of huge sniffing, and it was the best thing that I smelled that day. And since then, yeah, finally found it, hunted it down, got it, and now it's in my life forever. Really, really interesting. Almost vintage Chypre, but the pineapple brings it up to modern day with this modern juicy twist. And yeah, every time I smell this, you are amazing. The bottles have changed now, by the way. If you ever do want to get this, I much prefer these older bottles with the little window, the little design. Look, I can see my finger. She's a little girl on a swing. But yeah, Ruth Marston Brooke, English brand, really, really lovely perfume that performs out the wazoo. Is that what is that? That is a phrase, isn't it? I've heard American people say that before. I don't know. Anyway, so this one is patchouli, sandalwood, oak moss in the base. All things, well, patchouli and oak moss particularly, that could be chyprified or Chypre linked, or that provide that Chypre feeling. There you go, I got there in the end. Jasmine, lily, rose in the heart, and then the top notes are fruity, pineapple, blackcurrant as well, I forgot about that, mandarin, bergamot, and pink pepper. So, such a tricky one to talk about. That's why I haven't reviewed it, considering it's my favourite, one of my favourite perfumes probably ever in the world. I'm going to end it on that note. That is all of the Chypres. I need to put all this stuff away because it's all over the floor, and the sun is woo today. Anyway guys, I hope you like this video. I love Chypres apparently, especially modern day ones. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight into some of the things that are out there, because you know I do try and find these little obscure type things sometimes. And I hope you're doing well. Have a good week, have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you guys soon for another video. Okay, trying to make the world more better, one video at a time. I almost forgot my own damn catchphrase then. All right, bye guys, bye.